Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Game On News9. I'm Kabir Naqvi, and like always, this is your one-stop shop to talk about everything that's buzzing and brewing in the world of sports. IPL is upon us. Some crazy, crucial, nail-biter matches that we've been witnessing, and now it's going to be position number 1 versus position number 2. DC versus GT. We're going to talk about that as well. LSG his own match is also something that we're going to be previewing today. Of course, when we're shifting sports, we need to talk about tennis, and Rafael Nadal is finally going to have a special place that has been made especially for him when you're talking about the French Tennis Association. But that's not all. We earlier spoke about the UEFA Champions League semi-final completely lined up. Europa League, well, we have all those 4 names as well, and what a crucial, crunching matches and ties they were last night. Tottenham beating Frankfurt and Manchester United. Well, you know what? We'll hold on to our horses. We will discuss all of that in just a short bit. But Neymar's injury and Van Dijk's contract extension is also something that we're going to constantly throw some light on as well. All right, then, let's begin. Let's game on. First and foremost, the Indian Premier League. You've got the Battle of the Indian Premier League 2025, and the table toppers are finally going to be going head on. They will have to master speed merchants that are currently in focus. You've got Mitchell Starc's mastery of the death overs that we couldn't stop talking about vis-a-vis that final, super over that we saw after about 4 years. And he's going to be up against Mohammad Siraj's artistry when the high-flying Delhi Capitals take on an equally well-placed Gujarat Titans in a high-voltage, top-of-the-table Indian Premier League clash that is going to take place in Ahmedabad tomorrow. The first match of the double-header over the weekend. Now, the Delhi Capitals, they sit pretty at the top with 10 points from 6 games, whilst the Gujarat Titans trail just close behind with 8 from as many outings themselves. Confidence in the Delhi camp would be soaring after that dramatic super over win over Rajasthan Royals. Another heist scripted under pressure with Mitchell Starc at the heart of it all. The Australian left-arm quick Starc bowled 3 overs of the pinpoint Yorkers, including a nerve-wracking super over right at the end to turn the game pretty much on its head. Having skipped the Champions Trophy altogether to freshen up after the Border Gavaskar Trophy, Starc has returned to the IPL recharged and, well, needless to say, he's razor sharp. With 10 wickets at an economy just over 10, he's led the Delhi Capitals' pace unit featuring Mukesh Kumar and Mohd Sharma. And if Mitchell Starc can conjure another match-defining spell, it could be the edge that Delhi Capitals right now at this point in time need to really run away with the points on the table. And his battle with Gujarat Titans' top order, led by skipper Shubman Gill, the consistent Sai Sudarshan, and Ashes rival Joss Butler, could prove pivotal. So far, this trio that we're talking about has carried the bulk of the batting load, with at least one of them notching a half-century in every consecutive match. The Gujarat Titans' middle order, largely untested, faltered when finally called upon against Lucknow Super Giants, resulting in a defeat. And if Delhi can crack that top order code early, the ripple effect could tilt the contest in the Capitals' favour. After an underwhelming Border Gavaskar Trophy and missing India's Champions Trophy winning campaign, Mohammad Siraj used his time away from the game to iron out some flaws and issues, and the results are, well, showing. Refreshed and raring, Mohammad Siraj has emerged as the cornerstone of Gujarat Titans' bowling attack this season. With his test match lengths and ability to generate movement off the deck, he has picked up 10 wickets at an economy of 8.50, particularly excelling in the power play. And up against him will be Delhi's relatively inexperienced opening duo of Jake Fraser-McGurk, who has suffered and struggled for rhythm. He's not in his pink and purple patch that we saw last season, and the promising Abhishek Porel on the other side. Now, this particular pair will have their work cut out for themselves, not just against Mohammad Siraj, but also against Prasidh Krishna, who himself is enjoying a standout season. And should Delhi's top order crumble early, the Capitals will look towards the experience of KL Rahul and Karun Nair, again doing good for the team to steady the ship. Akshar Patel, who plays for Gujarat in the domestic circuit too, will be eager to make an impact at his home ground in Ahmedabad, having rediscovered his own rhythm with both the bat and the ball. Now, both these teams, Gujarat Titans and Delhi Capitals, also boast of high-quality spin arsenal. Whilst Gujarat have banked on the reliable duo of Sai Kishore and Rashid Khan, Delhi's standout performer has been Kuldeep Yadav, ably supported by the impressive Vipraj Nigam. However, Kuldeep Yadav's availability is uncertain after he walked off the field with a shoulder injury in the last match, and the Capitals are yet to provide a fitness update on their fresh and latest roster. But needless to say, a nail-biting affair. It's position number 1 versus position number 2. Who's going to stay on top? Well, that's the big question. Moving on, an inconsistent Rajasthan Royals. The RR will be desperate to plug the holes across departments and halt a 3-match losing streak when they host Lucknow Super Giants in the Indian Premier League on Saturday. With just 2 wins from 7 games, 2 from 7, the Royals are languishing at 8th on the table and come into the contest on the back of a gut-wrenching super over defeat again to Delhi Capitals, thanks to Mitchell Starc that we just spoke about. And as the league hits the halfway mark, they'll need to shake off the heartbreak quickly if they hope to upstage Rishabh Pant's men and climb out of the bottom half. Plagued by inconsistency in both batting and in bowling, Rajasthan Royals' campaign has struggled to find momentum. To make matters worse, skipper Sanju Samson suffered a side strain in the previous match and had to retire hurt, though he later said he was feeling all right. Now the Royals' batting, built around Indian mainstays, has misfired far too often, leaving the middle order exposed under pressure. Opener Yashasvi Jaiswal, he seems to have shaken off his rustiness with back-to-back half-centuries against Royal Challengers Bengaluru and the Delhi Capitals, but Samson is yet to produce a defining knock, which he has been doing, donning on the blue jersey, not so much with the pink and blue of Rajasthan Royals. With 66, he made in Rajasthan Royals' first match against Sunrisers Hyderabad, being his best score so far. Then you've got Riyan Parag and Dhruv Jurel, who have not made much of contributions so far in the batting front, and the duo need to fire on all guns blazing if Rajasthan Royals have to post or chase down a big total. Then comes Nitish Rana, who just came back to form with a 51-run knock against Delhi Capitals after the 81 runs he made against Chennai Super Kings just last month. On the bowling front, Jofra Archer has slowly but steadily gotten into his groove, but the Royals' attack as a whole has been, if I could use the word, toothless. Apart from Sandeep Sharma, their own other bowlers have struggled to control the scoring rate. On the other hand, the Lucknow Super Giants also head into the Saturday's match after losing to CSK, but they are in a much better position currently, with their 4 wins from 7 matches keeping them at the 5th spot on the table. Their batting and the form has been impressive overall, with Nicholas Pooran about 357 runs from 7 matches. Then you've got Mitchell Marsh, 295 runs from 6 matches, both of them in top form. Pooran and Marsh are in the top and in 3rd spots in the batting chart. South African Aiden Markram has also been among the runs, though compatriot David Miller's form has been a little bit of a worry, with 27 as his highest score in 7 matches. 27 with David Miller, those numbers and that name, they just don't match. However, Lucknow Super Giants have scored more than 200 runs in 3 matches and above 160 in all the other games. Fortunately for LSG, Captain Pant has also shown some form with 63 of 49 balls against Chennai Super Kings, his first 50 this IPL from 7 matches, though in a losing cause. LSG's bowling was their weakest link at the start of the competition, with injuries to main pacers, but made amends later thanks to some of the on and off performances from Avesh Khan and Shardul Thakur. India's fastest bowler, Mayank Yadav, has joined the squad after the last game, but the team management is still awaiting his fitness certificate from the Centre of Excellence. Mayank has been recuperating from multiple fitness issues, including a lower back stress fracture as well. So 2 nail-biting events that we have lined up. Those are those previews for you. GT versus DC, and then RR versus LSG. Who's going to come out on top? We'll review right here on Game On, ladies and gentlemen. All right then, shifting our focus here from cricket, let's talk about the Europa League, some of those top-notch teams that were up in action last night as well. Firstly, let's talk about the Red Devils. Manchester United season, isn't done, at least after last night. On a night of high drama at Old Trafford, the troubled Premier League club put their domestic problems to one side by sealing a spectacular comeback to beat Lyon 5-4 goals and advance to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Now, United blew a 2-goal lead and then had to come back from 4-2 down against a 10-man Lyon in extra time to produce one of its most memorable victories in its famous stadium. Harry Maguire's dramatic winner in added time, off the extra time, sparked scenes of jubilation and kept alive hopes that United could yet salvage a desperate campaign that has left the 20-time English champions languishing in the bottom half of the Premier League back at home.
It's hard to say, but in here was and the sound of the two last goals were amazing, and that is something that we can keep for the future. It was a good feeling, but in the end of the game, you go to the semi-finals, but you need to win it. If you go to the semi-finals, you don't win it, it's the same feeling. So we just need to focus on the next stage and try to win the competition. You think is hard, but you try to make some changes or try to push the players, into force yourself to give energy to the players. And in this stadium, in this club, you always have that feeling that anything can happen, and today was another day like that.
Ruben Amorim, a relieved man in that press conference. But Manchester United will now play Athletic Bilbao in the semi-finals after the Spanish club beat Rangers 2-0. The Europa League is Amorim's last chance of success this season, whilst victory would also secure a place in the lucrative Champions League next campaign.
That's why we like this sport so much, and all the frustration that the coach has in this kind of season, the frustration, the bad moments. When you have moments like this, is all worth it. But then you finish the game, you calm down, and you start thinking that we have a game on Sunday, and then we have to see all the players if they are fit to play, because we need to focus a lot on Europa League. To play a normal game, no. But in these moments is something that is really important. Again, when I see Harry Maguire and I put Harry Maguire as a striker, I just see one guy that is inside the box. Is he good or not inside the box? So is in the opposite box. He's a striker. He's not a defender. He knows how to behave in that space. So
well, he tried the Harry Maguire tactic against Newcastle. That did not come in handy in the Premier League. It did come in handy in the Europa League. United had led 2-0 at half-time through goals from Manuel Ugarte and Diogo Dalot, and could have been further ahead with Bruno Fernandes hitting the bar and Alejandro Garnacho failing to score when through on goal, pretty much open one-on-one situation. But it let a commanding position slip by conceding twice in 6 minutes in the second half, with Corentin Tolisso and Nicolas Tagliafico stunning the home crowd. Despite Tolisso being sent off in the 89th minute, Leon led 4-2 in extra time through Ryan Cherki and an Alexandre Lacazette penalty. As some fans started to leave the stadium, United mounted a comeback with 3 goals in 7 minutes. Fernandes scored from the penalty spot, and then Kobe Mainu leveled with a curling shot inside the box, and then the stage was set for Harry Maguire playing as like Amorim said, a makeshift striker to head in the winner of the night. The other match from the Europa League was Tottenham, that snatched an aggregate 2-1 victory over Eintracht Frankfurt to reach the Europa League semi-finals late last night, after Dominic Solanke converted from the spot to secure a 1-0 win in the second leg of the quarter-final. The Premier League side will face Norway's Bodo Glimt in May for a spot in the final. Dominic Solanke gave Tottenham the lead from the spot 2 minutes before half-time, after the visitors were awarded a penalty for a foul by goalkeeper Joao Santos on Spurs' midfielder James Maddison. Tottenham, who are on 15th position when you're talking about the Premier League table back at home, continue their quest to win a first European trophy in more than 40 years after their 1984 UEFA Cup success. Tottenham Hotspurs reached the last four of a European competition for the first time since their run to the 2019 Champions League final, where they lost 2-0 against fellow Premier League side Liverpool. Listen in to what Ange Postecoglou had to say.
Well, look, I mean, I think, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We're in the semi-final and, we're going to have a difficult opponent in the semi. But it's not about my belief in the team. I think what's more important is the belief the team's had, because after a season like ours, it would be very easy for the players and the staff to, I've said before, that they could have left me in a pretty vulnerable place in terms of, them splintering at any, but I've never felt that, with all the noise around our season. They've been so united in believing in what we're trying to achieve here. And that's what gave me heart all along, that, if we got our own little bit of slice of luck in terms of just getting some players back, that, I really believed that this team, could achieve. And that's what keeps driving me.
Playing in heavy rain, Eintracht showed more intent in the opening stages but lost Mario Goetze early on after the veteran playmaker suffered what looked like a hamstring injury. Tottenham were without their captain, Son Heung-min, who did not travel due to a foot injury himself. Now, Eintracht Frankfurt were the better side but fell behind when Dominic Solanke sent Santos the wrong way, converting coolly with a low shot into the middle of the goal from the spot. The German side, champions in 2022, were far from willing to accept their fate and pushed for an equalizer after the restart, but were missing a finishing touch. Yes, unfortunately, this wonderful journey is coming to an end. We had great experiences, we had great games, we would have liked to play longer in this competition. I think that the luckier team won today, that the boys, you could tell that we did everything we could do to get through to the next round. I think the first 30 minutes were very good, that we were well in the game. I think everyone saw that we really wanted this, and in the end, defeats are just part of it. They're not the opposite of success. They're part of success. Where do we need to see that? We can see that too, even if we're disappointed today and will certainly not feel good tomorrow when we wake up. Nevertheless, it's simply part of it. Well, now the hosts stormed Vicario's goal with 15 minutes to go when the goalkeeper denied Shaibi from close range just before Rasmus Christensen flashed a header just wide. Tottenham Hotspurs have won the competition twice, including its inaugural edition back in 1972 when they beat Wolverhampton Wanderers 3-2 on aggregate in a two-legged final.
Yeah, I'm delighted with many things, and super proud of the lads. Look, you're playing away from home, quarter-final against a very good side. You're going to have to work really hard and be well organised and disciplined, and also, we needed to score tonight, so we needed to show the quality we have as well. And to a man, I just thought they were outstanding. So proud of them that, in such a big game, they delivered a performance that, means we're through to the semi-final. And, I think over the two legs, I think we deserve to go through. Tie could well have been over in the first leg, but again, we've earned the right to be in the semi.
Well, shifting our focus here, and pretty much continents as well, Al Fateh stunned league leaders Al Ittihad with a 2-0 victory at the Prince Abdullah bin Jalawi Stadium in Hofuf in Saudi Arabia. Goals from Amin Sabai and Matthias Vargas gave the host the win after Al Ittihad's Fabinho had a penalty saved and a Karim Benzema goal that was ruled out for being offside. The Jeddah-based team stayed top of the Saudi Pro League after 28 matches, but their lead has been cut to just 4 points by Al Hilal, who were 3-0 victors over Al Khalij. Now Al Fateh move up to 13th position after recording their 4th game in a row without a loss. This result has potentially reignited the title race. Al Ittihad's lead at the top of the table has been cut to just 4 points, and given that Al Hilal's goal difference is far superior, there is a lot to play for in the Saudi Pro League.
It is turned in, and it's Benzema. Speaking to Benzema. No goal. Offside. Now a great opportunity for Vargas. 2-0. Another crucial goal from Mati Vargas. And that is such a big goal at both ends of the Russian Saudi League table. And that is it. It's the shock of the season.
Well, there is no respite for Neymar Jr. from continuous injury woes. The Brazilian and Santos forward left the pitch in tears due to a left thigh problem in the first half of his club's 2-0 win over Atletico Mineiro in Brazil's Serie A. The 33-year-old sustained a serious knee injury in a World Cup qualifier against Uruguay back in October 2023 and has struggled to return to full fitness ever since. Though his recent stint and form at Santos was rewarded with a call-up to the Brazil squad in March, he had to pull out of that international squad due to a muscle injury yet again. And there was more misery when he limped off in the 34th minute, clutching his left thigh just this Wednesday. Santos coach Cesar Sampaio told reporters that it was too early to give any definitive answer or update on Neymar's latest injury. Neymar's absence will also be a big blow to the club. Meanwhile, the early diagnosis of his injury is in fact a twisted ankle. Neymar only returned from his last injury on Sunday when he came off the bench against Fluminense. It seemed as though he may have rushed back too soon, playing with heavy strapping on his leg and appearing to struggle with his thigh issue that had ruled him out for about 6 weeks. Now, the former Barcelona and PSG man has only played 8 times for Santos since re-signing, but that is still once more than the 7 matches for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, the club he signed for in 2023 for a whopping 77.6 million British pounds. And Liverpool skipper Virgil van Dijk, they have extended his contract with the Dutch centre-back, signing to stay at Anfield until 2027, another 2 years. The Premier League club confirmed the extension deal just yesterday, ending a protracted saga that had dragged on for several months. Van Dijk had joined Liverpool back in 2017 for a world record $99.29 million fee for a defender. He has been the bedrock of that Anfield defence that has helped the club win numerous trophies, including a first Premier League title. The 33-year-old, talking about the contract extension, said, and I quote, "It's a proud feeling. It's a feeling of joy. It's just incredible. The journey I've had so far in my career, to be able to extend it with another 2 years at this club is amazing, and I'm so happy. It was always Liverpool. That was the case. It was always in my head. It was always the plan, and it was always Liverpool. There wasn't any doubt in my head that this is the place to be for me and my family. I am one of Liverpool." Someone called me the other day and said, "Adopted Scouser." I'm really proud to hear these things. It gives me a great feeling. Now, Virgil van Dijk follows Egypt striker Mohamed Salah in signing an extension after the winger committed to the club until 2027. So after Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, who's been given that extension for the Anfield Reds. And take a look at this. The French Open will pay tribute to record 14 times champion Rafa Nadal on the opening day of the Grand Slam next month, a year after the Spaniard played his final match on the clay of Roland Garros. Nadal fell to his earliest French Open exit after a first-round defeat by Alexander Zverev last year, but did not say then if it was the last time that his adoring Parisian fans would watch him in action at the major. The 22 times Grand Slam champion eventually called time on his glittering career after representing Spain in the Davis Cup in November and will now return to his happiest hunting ground for a grand celebration of his achievements. The French Open said it would also honor its 2000 women's champion, Marie Pierce, as well as fellow local favorite Richard Gasquet, who will retire after the tournament this year. So you've got 3 people, but Rafael Nadal is the biggest name of them all. The total prize pool for the May 25th to June 8 tournament has been set at 56.352 million euros. That's about $64 million, up by 5.21% from the previous year. Significant pay hikes at the Grand Slams were central to the demands of the world's top players in their letter to the 4 majors recently, and the French Open has said that it will open to constructive meetings later on as well. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Game On. We're going to see you again next week. Many thanks for watching.